If you are in the Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area and need tech support with computers, security cameras, wireless networks, computer repair, and much more, please book a service appointment now at ASCS Technical Services at ascsts.com. If you're wanting more out of life and want to be more healthy, please check out owlsherbs.com because your health is your wealth. Also, check out thebroke.geniuses.com to stay in the know. Purchase some t-shirts as well as other merchandise at brokegeniuses.com.
What's going on? What's going on? This is the Broke Genius. This is Tech Tuesdays. I'm downloading a big file. So if it's sluggish, that is why. Today I'm going to be talking about gaming systems. And the question I have is, do you still game or did you game? You don't have to answer right now. You can, pretty much comment in the video anytime you would like down below or right now. If you're live with me, basically, it's a question that I ponder to myself. I pretty much have been gaming or building gaming type systems since pretty much I started in IT, which was around 2007, 2006 was actually pre-IT, before I got in the career side. I started building gaming machines basically. So my first computer that I built was around 2005. It was basically a shuttle PC. It was a small, very tiny mini form factor PC. And from that is what was the first steps of actually learning computer hardware. So that was a long, long time ago. Okay, so um, you know, with that being said, basically after that shuttle PC, I got another. I don't even remember what the shuttle PC's CPU was. I think it was like it might have been a Pentium 4 processor. I believe that's what it was. But after that machine, I started to build a gaming machine that almost looked like Optimus Prime. Like it was like literally it looked very similar. And that one I built so long ago, about 2007, definitely 2007. So that computer, it had, I believe it had an Intel processor too, because I really haven't really got into AMD like that. Like I've had tons of AMD computers, but I'm not for sure that it was an AMD computer. I definitely think it was an Intel. Just bear with me. I'm trying to go into the time machine. It was an Intel Core 2 Duo. That's what it was. So it's Intel Core 2 Duo, and pretty much it had it's kind of beefed up. I mean, at the time, Intel Core 2 Duo wasn't that bad. Okay, so it was, I put a lot of money into it. My mom helped me. Shout out to moms. She gave me literally a lot of game. So yeah, pretty much I put like a, I don't know, 200 gig hard drive, maybe a 150 gig hard drive, you know, just to kind of give you little young people a zinger. So you guys are spoiled, spoiled rotten. I remember going to college in the bookstore. This was 2003, and getting supplies. Got my little Pell Grant or whatever, voucher or whatever, and I knew I needed a flash drive. So the flash drive was 512 megabytes, and that flash drive was about $80. So, I mean, just to say, like, 100, if you had a hard drive actually that you had 160 gigs, you were doing it. I mean, at that time. So I had uh I had about at least 160 gigs, and I might have had two hard drives installed over time because, see, that's one good thing about gaming computers is that what I used to tell people when I had good things about gaming computers is that, or custom computers, I really it's I call them gaming computers, and I also call them custom. They're definitely custom computers, but I look at them also as performance computers. So here's the thing: I'm a novice trader or whatever, or just basically moderate trader, let's just say. And you really want something when you're trading to give you a lot of speed and performance, because ideally you're going to be looking at charts, you're going to be trying to analyze things, and then you also want to execute when you want to execute. So when I say gaming computer, I mean basically you want to make, beats, or you want to produce in a Grammy. Like I said, I've been building gaming machines since 2005. That was my first pretty much adaptation into the gaming world. And just basically kind of make his own car. Shout out to you're good at what you do, you pretty much can build whatever whatever you want to build. Whatever you invent, your own computer is like the ultimate. I remember when we was called in the office to let everybody know that the store was going out of business. Thought they would fire me, but they was like, "Well, we going out of business, but they later said that they were gonna keep a couple stores open, and yeah, they still have one in Florida, and I may maybe somewhere else, but as far as I know, It's been verified that they do have a store in Florida. But I worked at a store in Northern Illinois, and I remember the first day that I started, I showed up to work. They were like, "Build this damn computer right here." I mean, it was like the area I work, man. People had a lot of money. I'll just say it like this, like pretty much where the store I worked out of, basically the Bears training camps, one of them was like probably 15 miles away. Okay. So with that being said, basically, the actual area was a lot of people had money. I want a gaming computer. I want these parts. I want the best of the best. You know, um, swipe their card for like 4 grand, like it's nothing. Then you get all these parts together they want. Then you got to build the computer up. You got to build the computer within a time frame that they could pick their computer back up. We promised, I think, pretty much a 24-hour turnaround. So I'll never forget my first day. They were like, "All right, okay, yeah, yeah, this is this and that is that." I had my little green shirt. I had a whole bunch of those green shirts, but I didn't hold on to them. I wish now that I held on to them because I actually like that shirt. But yeah, first day, it's like, all right, sit down. All right, this customer, he ordered this, you know, it's like $4 or $5,000 worth of parts, build it. And I'm like, whoa, like cause like some companies you work for, they baby you. Like they'll be like, all right, well, you just do this for one day. You just like, let me show you the register and, let me show you how to, do this. And then it's, light work they start you off at because, they just trying to, I guess, gradually put you in there. Nope. These guys was like, basically, we know what we need. Let me see what you know what you know how to do. So I ain't gonna lie. I pretty much was in the corporate world before I went to work at Tiger Direct. It was kind of a downgrade for me, a substantial downgrade, because I was already working in corporate America, making like double what I would make at Tiger Direct. But I was a hustler, so I ended up hustling my way to like pretty much making about close to it went from being like half to maybe like a third, or you know what I'm saying, basically, um because you allow so much in commissions. I was selling people everything, and I was already comfortable getting going to people's houses because I did on-site service since I had my own computer shop. So I was selling people on that, man, and making like, I think every sale you did with that, you would make like $75 every time you offer on-site service. So anyway, back to the initial, like setup or whatever. It's like built this, computer here. So I actually, you know, built it. I mean, it was like, they saw immediately they wanted to, they basically, um shit tested me right away. Like, I pretty much built this computer, and I had to get a little help from the young guys. It was a young dude that was like, he was kind of like the lead tech because he was there the longest, and he showed me how to hook up stuff that I didn't really know, and it really wasn't probably around, or I wasn't privy to it, because it's like liquid cooled machines and stuff like that. So it was like a cooler that I'm going to build. gonna be talking about. I mean, I'm gonna get to, the parts of a custom computer, but basically the actual computer, it was different. The parts were different than what I was accustomed to. So I did need a little, showing of what was what, you know. But with all of that said, basically what happened was, I ended up building the computer and selling a lot of parts, uh, and also basically I ended up fixing computers within, like, we came up with a system where we would build custom computers for display within, like, immediately within, like, probably an hour. The customer can have like a computer set up. Really, to be honest, it was like 30 minutes because we had put an image together, and if they wanted a computer, all we had to do was just activate Windows and maybe do some initial setups, add their hardware, because a lot of times people added extra hardware, and that was it. But the actual computers, it didn't matter if it was a $6,000 computer, 4,000, 3,000. We could build the computer within, like a couple hours. I mean, I would build it within an hour or two, and it was all professional, zip tied, the cables and everything. People absolutely loved these custom computers from Tiger Direct. I mean, Tiger Direct, you know, I I think that the reason why they folded as far as their stores and stuff was just bad management from the CEOs at that time. So this was like 2014. So from 2014, 2015, just a very bad mismanagement. A lot of people lost a lot of money even with their stock because when they folded their stores, most of their stores, the stock took a nosedive. Yet the actual store itself is still live. They still have a website. They still have a store. Yet I say all of that to say that that pretty much took my gaming experience as far as being a system builder to another level. Okay, because I actually have my own computer company. So I've if you go on my website, ascsts.com, the store will link you to my actual computer brand, which is Big Cat Computers. And that is one of my products. The Basically, the Tomcat um, is one of my products on that display. Okay, so actually, it's the Black Cat. It's not the Tomcat, but the reason I named it the Black Cat because I actually people that really know me that know the actual me, not the YouTube me, but the actual me, they know why it's called the Black Cat. I mean, primarily because I actually did have a tuxedo cat. It was in my actual computer shop too. So people that really know me, my customers, and also my friends and family, they know about Tux and they know about my cat. He you know my sister she said that he ran away, never came back. So you know that was it. I haven't seen him since, but I had started a company based off of his name. Call me a lame, I don't care. I mean, pretty much that's what I did. I love that cat. It was an amazing cat. It was a computer cat to me because I got the cat because at my store it was roaches, it was mice, rats, and I ain't want no problems. And that cat gave me a lot less problems with those. But then the fleas was something else. But all of that aside, I have my own computer company. Let me put that in the link here so you can see What I sell, I mean, pretty much I sell custom computers. Okay, that's pretty much what I sell. They're pretty much made to order. All you have to do is just pretty much, you know, buy them. They already pre-configured. They got Windows software on them, everything set up. A lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about, they already included in that, as well as you can pretty much get them also configured the way you want. You can add on certain accessories and also additions. It's an upstart. This is a grassroots type of thing. So, this is like my first initial launch of my own brand of PCs, and it's more to come. It's basically just I'm just a fledgling startup, okay? I have a lot of fledgling startups, so this is just one of them. Basically, it's sort of why I learned what I learned and how I make a living now is based off of what I learned from building custom PCs. Because pretty much when you take an A+ class, the last one I took, I could have taught this class better than the professor because I already had about 5 years experience before I even got into class. Took a A+ class just to just take one. And the end of the class, you had to actually repair a computer or build a computer or something like that. I think it was just repair a broken computer or something like that, something of that sort. But it was like juvenile to me, so I don't even know if I don't even remember the last parts of the class, to be honest with you. Yet, I'm gonna go over some things as far as what's the general makeup of a custom computer with today's standards. Now, I know you super nerds and super gaming geeks and all of that. Please be easy on me because I'm a little old and rusty. I haven't built a custom computer because nobody has bought a computer from me yet. So I haven't built a custom computer in a long time. Now, I'm in the process of a renovation, getting my house fixed up. I promise when I'm done fixing my house up, I'm actually gonna build an actual computer made to order of my Black Cat, basically 1000. I think it's called, yeah, Black Cat 1000. I'm gonna build it. I'm gonna make like a video of it or whatever, and I mean, basically, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so from doing that, what I'll do is I'll show everyone, what it's made of. I might upgrade the processor. I might up because I actually back when I used to, be able to do Google actually Facebook ads or whatever. Um, you know, Mark Zuckerberg, he got me on the shit list on the Facebook ads, but it's all right. Um, I pretty much I got laughed at because of the i3 because it's like a lower tier computer, but an i3 is okay, but what I'm gonna do is probably just upgrade it to at least an i5. That's what I'll do. That'll be my last concession. Yet it's my first like actual like prototype. It would be like considered something of a prototype, but not really because it's just a custom computer. The specs are still available. If you get one, I promise you that it'll be the best computer you probably ever had. I mean, like I say, when I get my house fixed up and within the next few months, I'm gonna, set my little desk up, camera and everything. And I mean, basically, I'm going, to use it to do what I do with my other desktops. I mean, on some pinky in the brain type stuff. But anyway, let's go into this topic. I've talked enough. Let's get this on the road. So, because I actually have to get on the road after this. So, the first part of the actual computer is the chassis. So, the standard is ATX, and then you have the micro ATX. So, standard ATX is just a full computer. So, my actual Black Cat 1000 is a full standard ATX. It's not a micro ATX. So the ATX, basically you can use a full motherboard with it. ATX, you would have to use a micro ATX motherboard with that, and then also with the mini ITX. So a mini ITX would be something like a shuttle PC. That's what I started off with. That was my first custom computer, which was a mini ITX. And a lot of the computer chassis, they actually come with the power supply. So in this case, you wouldn't even need to buy a power supply, but power supplies are important. The reason why is that you will have shorts and stuff like that, like lightning and even like temperature and all kind of other things that if the power supply shorts out, it's gonna fry your motherboard. And it happens. Trust and believe it happens. Okay. All it takes is just one jolt of irregular electrical voltage, and it's gonna short out the entire motherboard. Okay, it happens. Trust and believe that. I've worked at Tiger Direct. It happened more often than not. So the next one is motherboards. So pretty much you have AMD motherboards and Intel motherboards. I mean, you got other stuff out there, but this is pretty much the standard. You know, um, AMD is AMD is on fire as far as their stock. I mean, I definitely missed out on that, and that kind of pisses me off a little bit because the thing is that when I talked about on Market Monday, I talked about missing out on crypto. And the other side of that is the crypto mining. It is absolutely nothing for me to make a crypto miner. As a person that actually builds computers, it is absolutely nothing to for me to build a it I I'm not saying it's nothing, but I can basically do it. Okay. It's like, but the thing is the prices of actual parts because of crypto drove AMD up. Okay, their stock is, you know, I remember when their stock when I was working at Tiger Direct back in 2014, it's probably like let me take a look here and see what it was because I think it was like it's like 5 years ago. Let's see. Yeah, it was about $2. Let me go to max. Let's see here. So 2014. It's about exactly what I was gonna say, about $3 a share. So it's like AMD is something that I like missed out on. It's definitely something I missed out on. And basically, and I'm just gonna look at Intel, just a snapshot, because Intel's like kind of my favorite, you know. But let me see here. Let me see what's going on with Intel. So, Intel was pretty much already kind of high. They had like some peaks, but the biggest peak was AMD definitely. So not only I missed out on crypto, I also missed out on the crypto mining boom too. So yeah, man. But here's the thing. It's no time like the present. But the CPU side is Intel. You got the Intel i3, the i5, the i7, and then I also looked up the i9. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh man, you got pretty much when I was pretty much working in Tiger Direct back in 2014, 2015. The i7 was like the holy grail. So I think the most expensive CPU was like over $1,000. Only a few people actually bought one, and you had a lower tier one that was I think like a couple $100 or something like that. So the price of i7s have dropped. I'm sure. I have not looked at it, but the thing that I looked at was the i9s. The i9s is the latest and greatest ones that are, I mean, from the Intel chip line. And I saw one that was like Intel 9 uh, Xeon processor. It was like $9,000. Yep, it was $9,000. I mean, ho- hopefully, man, you could probably, I don't know what, with that amount of money, I should be able to make a machine, an automated trading machine, and it could be like, I don't know, a supercomputer, like almost like they have at the New York Stock Exchange or the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's type of stuff that I would actually, expect from that. It probably does. I'm pretty sure does have some capabilities like that. If you actually have the money to actually go build all of that up, which that would cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And but that was the most expensive one I saw. The I guess lower tiered i9s were, I think, like about $700 or $800 or something like that. Some were like $1,800. And then the standard for RAM is DDR4. Okay, it go back when I was working at Tiger Direct. Even when I started out in the IT, it was like SDRAM, DDR. Okay, that just shows you how old I am. Like it was literally DDR. Okay, um, RAM bus. It's like that was what the RAM was back then. Like then it went from DDR to DDR2 and then DDR3. Now we at DDR4. Okay, you know what I'm saying, and that's the standard now. And it's probably, I mean, do they? Let me search real quick to see if they have DDR5 yet, because they probably have DDR. Yeah, they got no. They don't have DDR5. Oh yeah, they do. They do have DDR5. So it came out. Uh, it came out 2018. They said. All right, so we got DDR5, but 2000. It takes a while before the standards to catch up, but DDR4 is pretty much the standard as far as RAM is concerned. Memory, in case people they don't know the terminologies. I remember, man, I love my black people, man. I love people in general. It wasn't just black people though, but primarily. When I used to work, I used to have before I had my computer shop, I used to have a booth in a flea market and I would sell computers. People would drop their computers off and I'll fix them. And people will be like, I would like when they came up and said that, because that means that they don't absolutely know nothing about computers. They shouldn't have no problems with whatever I, pretty much tell them and charge them. But anyway, they'll be like, my hard drive need repaired, and then they'll drop the computer off, this big old desktop computer, and be like, all right, how much does it cost to fix my hard drive? And I'll be like, what did you talk about hard drive? Your hard drive is inside the computer, ma'am. It's not a hard drive. It's a computer. So I would, for the most part, I would just educate them on what the terminology was. But they would literally be like, can you fix my hard drive? And then some of them was even more into it. It was kind of close to the mark. They'd be like, "Can you fix my CPU?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. What's wrong with your CPU?" I got a virus. What does that have to do with the CPU? But anyway, that's what I was thinking in my head. But I know what they're talking about. But they're close because the CPU is actually the computers. But I mean, it's the center of the computer, but I mean, it is a computer chip. But yeah, man, it's like it just kind of reminds me of all that, like stuff. Um, yeah, and then even people would be like, when they were asking for memory, they would be like, they would say when they wanted a hard drive, a bigger they would confuse the hard drive with the RAM. So they would say basically, I want 160 RAMs. I mean, no, 160 gigs. And I'm like, what you they ain't got no 160 gigs of RAM yet. And then it's like, this is what I'm thinking in my head, but they talking about they want a hard drive with 160 gigs. And it's like, okay, you trying to, get them something, and it's like, oh, okay, man, you probably need you a magazine or something. But you know what? One thing about computers, man, computers, kind of you can use it to kind of enhance your intelligence, But because I've actually worked with guys that didn't know nothing, and then I start working on them, and then they start watching me and everything. Next thing you know, they damn near fix you. You come see them a year or two later, and they fixing their own computer. Um, so you got I pretty much I like SSDs for hard drives, but I also like when I build a computer, I just build it with the SSD. So my big cat computer line, my first product is the Black Cat 1000. And basically that computer, it has a SSD drive in it. It doesn't have a actual like read and write hard drive because SSDs don't have the read and write function. It's just memory. So as soon as you hit the button, it accesses that file. As soon as you hit it, so it's like basically I don't even really recommend to even deal with standard hard drives. I think standard hard drives that read and write, these little bulky desktop hard drives, they're still around, but they're going to be phased out slowly. SSD is going to be the standard for the next 10 years. So that's why I just put SSD. So I just, everything that I'm putting out here is, I put it in as the current standard. I'm not giving you a full history lesson. When if you're interested in actually learning about computers, and you want to like take a computer class, you want to first, like, if you can go to the library and get like a computer repair book, they're going to have all of these talking points as well as other things as far as different types of hard drives and stuff like that. Because when I started out, it wasn't even no SD or none of that. It wasn't even SATA drives. The old hard drives when I started had pins in them, and the pins were actually made out of gold. So if you actually have an old hard drive in your, like, if you got somebody like they're a hoarder and they got a whole bunch of computers and they old, you want to put those aside, because the hard drives with the actual pins in them, some of them, not all of them, I don't think, but I think some of them. maybe all of them. I'm not 100% sure on this, but those actual old hard drive pins have gold in them. Those pins are made out of gold, and a lot of the other, computer components, like such as the CPU, it's literally is gold. The actual pins are actually gold. So you clip a whole bunch of those out and put them in a little mason jar. You got you about, I don't know, a couple $1,000s in gold after you collect a whole bunch of, parts and stuff. That's, like I said before, that's my next adventure after maybe like a year, probably 2021. That's what I'm gonna start getting into. I'm gonna start basically breaking down gold and saving gold from computer parts, electronics, and whatnot. So all that aside, yeah, that's when I started. Everything was it was called IDE. It was no SATA, so it was basically these pins, and if you bend one pin wrong, it's over for you. It's game over. You better put all them holes in that pin correctly, and you have to be very delicate, because if you got one wrong, bent wrong, it's over. And you'd have to get you a little small little tweezer and and carefully try to bend that pin straight, so you can put that hard drive IDE cable in that hard drive. This is the type of stuff I came up on. You know what I'm saying? So um, now everything is SATA connectors, and basically the SSD is all SATA. Okay, so the graphic cards is PCIe and AGP. So the old one is a PCI slot, basically. That's the old school stuff, and because of Bitcoin mining, back to Bitcoin, that's why these graphic cards are so freaking expensive. So I mean, you got the best graphics card to like the medium. The medium graphics card now is over $1,000, more than what I paid for my freaking car, my luxury car that I got, for a good deal. Is what you gonna pay for a graphics card now? Okay. Um. So, you know, these are all just the basic components of a custom computer, and then basically what you have as far as cooling systems, that's important. With one thing I found out with one when I worked at Tiger Direct is that the cooling system can kind of make you and break you as far as your overall performance, because you got to understand, when you have a custom computer, you have all of these components, and they're like high engineered, I mean, just like advanced engineered components. They take a lot of heat. You want to have the best cooling system you can get, but really, you just want to have a very good cooling system, period. Because you're gonna need something. I'm not into the old liquid cooling, but that is something. But you want to get what I call custom cooling, where you have something that just like a high performance fan that is gonna cool the CPU off and keep it cool, and basically while it's doing its thing and emitting all of that electrical current to the boards, to all the capacitors and the chips and whatnot. You want to have something to cool that CPU off. And then also with custom computers, you want fans on at least all three sides of the computer. I mean, the more fans, the better. That's what I'm trying to tell you, because this computer is going to emit a lot of heat, and all computers emit a lot of heat. And you want to get the long lasting benefit of this custom computer. You're going to need a lot of cooling, a lot of fans. It just is what it is. But a lot of times the fans, they make the computer look beautiful. They got all of these colors and stuff like that. It could just kind of just make the whole ambiance a little bit better. But the thing is that you definitely want to have cooling, because if unless you have like a warranty service after because 1 year manufacturer's warranty is law. When you selling computers, you have to have at least 1 year. But after that, if you don't have any warranty services, and you're taking a risk of actually having motherboard failure, CPU failure, and then you got to eat it because you can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So definitely want to protect your that actual board, that CPU. I mean, it's all right if RAM go out, but you don't want your CPU or your motherboard to be going out. You don't want your video cards to be going out. So you want to have as much fan and much cooling that you possibly can get. So with that being said, you know, um, I'm just just going over this, and I just wanted to talk about this as far as custom computers, and it's just a question to ponder. Is I know it's traders out there, because this is my strong opinion. People that need gaming computers, custom computers, are traders. Traders already know this. They already have custom computers. People that are into like musicians, producers, songwriters, even rappers, or R&B singers, rock star, whatever. They need a custom computer to make beats and make acoustics and all of that stuff. And then another person that needs a custom computer is an artist. An artist definitely to render. A lot of artists are into Apple. Okay, cool. All right, I got an Apple. They gave it to me because I gotta support people that work on Apple for the company I work for. But I mean, I don't. I haven't even used it. Like, I think I used it like 3 times because I'm just really not an Apple dude. But I like apples, but I'm not really into it like that. But a lot of artists and whatnot, they use Apple's DJs and whatnot. They use Apple computers. They do get viruses too. That's like a rumor, but they don't get as much viruses as PCs, but they get viruses. But anyway, yeah, definitely artists, people that deal with data. So like if you're a data analyst, you gonna need a custom computer because you got to break down, chunk down data. Definitely gonna need a freaking um, custom computer. Another person is gonna need a custom computer. Obviously, as a gamer, you're gonna need a custom computer. And then obviously, I shouldn't even have to, what I'm saying, say that. Like shout out to Game Changer. Definitely, if you're doing coding, you should have a custom computer. If you're doing any type of programming or anything like that, definitely need a custom computer. And if you're doing high level video rendering or graphics design, you need a custom computer. Okay. The reason why I say you need, because here's the thing: when you buy a proprietary machine, such as a standard manufacturer's machine, well, what happens if you want to upgrade that machine every, I mean, I don't know, after about a year or two? You want to add another graphics card to it or whatnot. Well, some of the manufacturers are privy to the game, and they're stepping their game up as far as competing with the custom computer industry. But for the most part, basically, there's still limitations. Now, the thing is that with custom computers, you can add on more and you can do more with it, and you can customize it the way you want to do it. It's kind of harder to do that with manufacturers. So that's all I have for this Tech Tuesdays. This is the Broke Genius, and I am out.